Alright, guys. It's time to see a matchup I have not seen in a hot minute. Let's bring that mic a little bit closer there, shall we? Get some ASMR intros for Classic in the top right side for Protoss and Cure for Team Liquid in the bottom left side. Haven't seen these two clash in a bit. Always interesting to see what this matchup looks like. Both players are capable of absolutely fantastic play in the matchup. Cure is an interesting one because he always plays on the slightly aggressive side, but without being all in. He always has a transition and macro behind it. And as a result, you're always kind of on the edge of your seat going, this kind of feels very committed, but if you overcommit to defense, Cure is always capable of just walking home if he thinks the fight won't be good and just going to the next step. So you have to play a balanced style. You can't just go, just shut down this attack and then I win. We are seeing Classic checked as natural for proxies, and then it's going to move across the map. Double gas for Cure. Classic's been nerfed this patch. Energy recharge nerfed. Storm changed. Many would say a nerf in many ways. I'd say it's an overall nerf, even though it's a little better in some situations. Overall, probably a bit of a nerf. And I think for Classic especially, he was the best energy recharge Storm user in the last patch. That's why I call this a kind of a nerf for him this patch, because he really utilized the defensive power of Oracles against Zerg, of Storm in every matchup. Well, maybe not PvP. Only time you really make Storm in PvP is if your opponent masses Void Rays. They stack up a lot and Storm's really good. It is kind of fun if you guys are ever playing PvP and you have Storm, because you just kind of have this spell. You're like, ha! Here's some AoE damage, which normally there's not a lot of in PvP. It's mostly heavy gateway battles and then maybe a few Archons or Colossus comes in at some point. Kind of just, it's weird. I wouldn't say it's overall worth the cost, but it is funny when you pull it off. Most effective thing you can Side Storm in a PvP is the opponent's Swerker line. Yeah, Cure's been a little quiet recently, but he's still competing in a lot of the Korean events. He just hasn't been playing cross-server. And he's had some decent results there. Cure went from being the best TVP player in the world a couple of years ago, and now it's like, I feel like 1 month, best TVP player Q is there, and the next month, he's kind of just not quite able to stitch together the wins, falls off a bit in the matchup, and then the month later, he's back to dominating everyone. So it's the seesaw of Q dominance against Protoss recently. 3 Reaper into a Hellion. I imagine it's 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions. The Hellions are a bit faster, so they rally across the map a little quicker. Yep, second Alien queues up. Okay, so 3 Reaper, 2 Alien is going to run into 2 Stalkers and a Shield Battery. Shield Battery is really helpful for defending. 2 Shield Batteries even. I mean, Classic saw double gas just by seeing the factory timing and the guys that were mining, even though he didn't spot the gases himself. He knows exactly what to do against that, which is have 2 Shield Batteries, have a couple of Gateway units, and you can't really take any serious damage. QS sees the Shield Battery. He should immediately turn around and run away. You're not going to find damage, but you can at least delay the third. Don't know why that was so hard. I was going to say deny, which is like deny and delay. He's going to deny the third base. He's going to deny it. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. Sometimes like you subconsciously just say a mixed word without meaning to, and then you go, that sounds dumb. All right, Reaper's going to come in. Shield Battery's there, though. And that's it. It's the old bounce in, bounce out. The old Abe Simpson. Classic loves the double battery against the double gas. It's really hard to find damage here. But Q doesn't overcommit. He's got a Widowmine drop behind it. We'll see what happens. Mixing words is a sign of high intelligence. I do it all the time. Yeah. I'm guessing you smoke a lot of marijuana as well. Blake in the chat is saying that. Like, man, it's just like, I'm just like existing on like another realm of consciousness, man. We're idiots. There's nothing wrong with it. We're idiots. It's okay to be an idiot. Let's embrace our idiocy. We don't need to pretend anything else. Reaper Alien pulls to the left. Mind Drop goes to the right. Raven Tank's on the way behind this. And those Stalkers got lured. Reaper Alien doing a great job. It's going to be annoying here. Oh, I love that people attack with the Widowmine, the probes of the Widowmines now. Oh, no micro on the retarget. Cure does at least save the medevac with decent hit points, but not what he was looking for. I mean, he's kept Classic on 2 base. And Classic still hasn't started a Robo Bear Templar Archives. It is going to be, yeah, Blink into 2 base Storm. So Classic's just playing old school. I think knowing that Q is probably going to be on the more aggressive end, he says, yeah, we go for Storm and then we take the 3rd base. Same style he was using last patch. Okay, that's a lot of gateways though. Are we actually going 6 gate before 3rd Nexus as well? I mean, I get the Terran slowed down his own economy, so you can afford to be a bit more conservative with your Nexus timing, but 6 gate and Templar Archives and charge before 3rd Nexus, that feels a little extreme to me. I love the Stalker's hiding here. He wants the medevac to come in so he can blink on it. It's not too big a difference, you know. He cut probes on 45 either way, so the Nexus has started. The 3rd command center in line just yet. All right, we got factories and marines there. Engineering base coming up. 3rd command center started. Oh, watch out, Stim. That Stim is like, that there, dude, that's like twirling your lollipop. You know, that's the, hey, big boy. And the Stalkers are like, oh, I want to click on that so badly. It's like, no, don't, no, bad. Don't take, because you can see it's a trap. There's a 2nd tank behind, there's the Ravens, the Marines nearby. You blink in there, even if you kill Stim, you're losing like 8 Stalkers minimum. Classic showing a lot more restraint than Hero would. You know Hero blinks in there and loses all the Stalkers to the Stim, right? 100%. That's an anti-hero play that Q has set up there. He's like, I know how to bait the really excitable Protoss players. Oh, if there wasn't a shield battery, he might have been able to focus on a Templar or 2 down. Somehow the Rebellion's still alive. Terran has lost 2 Widow Mines in a medevac though. Medevac did get taken out. 3rd CC is not poorly timed. And you can just see, even when it seems like Q is quite committed to this push, he's still got 4th and 5th barracks, a 3rd command center, plenty of workers. I really admire the way Q plays this matchup. No other Terran really plays quite like him. He's so solid. We had a Prime Minister here who was a legend of mixing words. It's a sign of intelligence. Oh, you're doubling down? I like it. Where's that, Blake? Which country are you in? I have done this. I've made up a lot of words that just sound like they describe something in mixed words since a pretty young age. I've always said I'm like Shakespeare. He made up words. He's a legend. I'm a legend. I'm really smart too. I could make a play. I've been too busy. Didn't choose to write a good play. I could though, if I wanted to. I just haven't. In Canada, Jean Chrétien, an effing legend. Awesome. Sounds like he was from the Frenchy part. Quebec. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Storm drop comes in. Remember, with the modern Storm drop, the DPS is a bit lower, so it does tend to leave those SCVs damaged but not dead. Zealots ran in the 3rd as well, I think. But I think it was, yeah, 3 Zealots ran in the 3rd. Got 2 SCVs there. Snap recall's not fast enough. Oh, huge snipe. Classic's going to try and attack the right side, but he's low on units, man. He's got a lot of Storm. He's got a good worker count. His Zealot count is measly. But he's got double Forge. And, dude, he's already into double Robo Colossus. Oh, Cure might be sitting at home too long this game. This is actually crazy how quick he is into Colossus. Yeah, very passive game between these two. You can kind of see the different pace. Classic and Cure are not the fastest players. They're both old timers who are very good on the strategy side. They're obviously very fast compared to a normal player, but compared to a Clem or Max Packs, they're both significantly slower at the multitasking. You probably see it reflected in the APM. Yeah, they're both close to 300 APM. It's not, you know, Clem playing Protoss with 450 APM. Raynor averaging 700 because of his weird Zerg repeat rate keyboard shortcuts. Zerg players and the things they've done to their keyboards, man. Crazy. Stalker Storm. Oh, big storms. Q, no, don't go through that. That's crazy. He's going to eat the storm. He's EMP'd every single High Templar. All 6 High Templar. Gathered up in a ball. Gift wrapped. Guys, I don't know. Do you guys know what month it is? It's December. It's Christmas. Yes, Koreans love Christmas as well, guys. They love Christmas. It's their favorite holiday from the West. They love it. There's actually quite a lot of Christians in Korea, to be fair. And he just gift wrapped those High Templar for Cure. Classic is such a nice guy. 'Tis a season to be merry. 'Tis a season to gift your opponent a whole lot of units on a platter. Losing all of that High Templar energy. They were maxed on energy as well. 2 Colossus waddle in from the right side. He's got 2 more that have popped out. You know, the Zealot run by did a bit of damage, and this army's heavily wounded. But you can't be walking Colossus into siege tanks. Cure needs to target the Colossus with the tanks, though. Storm from the left, Colossus going down on the right. One more Storm. One more Storm. One more Storm. Does not cast it, and this game fell apart ever so quickly. Classic, I think, studied Heroes Micro with the High Templar and tried to emulate it. Normally, Classic's not the guy to keep all of his High Templar clumped up, but this was just a huge map control mistake. I'll show you guys in a moment when we do the breakdown here at the end. But he just didn't see the army move through the middle of the map. And his whole army was on the left side just hanging out, expecting a push to come from the left side. I'm not sure if Cure did something to trick him there or if that was just an oversight by Classic. We'll double check the replay and see. Cure's supply is still not that impressive, showing how good Classic's macro was before this stage. Cure needs to get out of here. Where is his medevac count? He's only got 1. There's probes being pulled. Guys, there's a probe pull. Cure needs to stim away now. He does have 1-1 upgrades, equal upgrades on both sides. He's going to grab a Stalker or 2. Does get 2 Stalkers and a Zealot, but the Colossus wave does take 3 more Marines out. Widowmine's not that useful right now. He needs medevacs. He's got 3 medevacs out now, so they can heal up. Trying to build more Vikings, and the second Starport is finally building. But somehow Classic is still alive in this game. He's got 68 probes. He doesn't have the 2-2. He just got +2 attack, but he's building 2 more Colossus. I don't know how Classic's still in this game. His army was just chilling over here. I think he was hoping Cure would move into him. Then Cure's army just came up behind and ambushed him. A total mistake for Classic. But Cure, he's only now got his 2-2 halfway done. 3 more barracks, second Starport. 4th command center is very late for him at 12 minutes. But with mules dropping, he's got a good amount of mineral income. No tanks or anything like that. It's just Biomine, Ghost Viking. Ghost count as well is not crazy. 4 ghosts, but with 3 more building. That'll be really nice. Now we've got Immortals building. Immortals are really popular in PvT right now. I've noticed a really high correlation in my own, just observing, just estimating. I haven't crunched the numbers, guys, but estimating the numbers. When Protoss builds a lot of Immortals in PvT, their win rate plummets. Now that might be me just having bad pattern recognition because Protoss sucks in late game against Terran right now and thinking, well, building Immortals is the problem. It could just be that Protoss loses late game to Terran and they inevitably add a lot of Immortals in late game right now. So, you know, correlation doesn't equal causation. But I still don't believe in the Immortals. I think 3 in your army is fine. I think if you build more than 3 Immortals, it's a bit too hefty on the supply for units that tend to just get stuck behind each other when the fight actually happens. Zealots warping on the left side. Planetaries now erecting on the right side. 20 seconds left till that's up. Should be up in time. 5th Nexus mining for Classic. You can see he's transferred from his main, his natural. 3rd base will mine out in about 2 minutes. Half of those mineral patches. 3-2 upgrades kicking in for Protoss. Terran has not started 3-3 yet. +3 weapons is the important one, but costs 200 gas. Used to cost 250. Remember, Terran upgrades got buffed a bunch of times to get much cheaper over the years. That's right, chat. It's a factory. Because he lifted the factory off the reactor to put the starport on it. You don't really want Widow Mines in late game. They're not. It's not like they're bad units, but it's just they're not very mobile. They can friendly fire, and they're kind of a pain to burrow and unburrow everywhere. When Bio goes Viking, Lib can kind of do the job without them. Why were Terran upgrades made cheaper? I don't know. You'd have to go back to that specific patch. There's one thing we've seen over the last years of StarCraft 2. It's a lot of horse trading. Well, if you get this buff, we get this buff. And, oh, if we've got that thing nerfed, then we need another buff to compensate. And, oh, I want our, you know, sentry build time to be 2 seconds faster. Well, I want Guardian Shield to last 1 second longer. Well, I want, you know, it's these minuscule adjustments. Dude, Classic just flew a full prism into the bunker. Good force field. Really good force field. He might have to cancel this command center Cure. But he's got a pretty good army, man. If he can land EMPs on these clumped High Templar, Classic's trying to do the hero dance, where the High Templar stay really clumped just behind the front line. Oh, no, and he does the hero again! Classic! Why do you need 6 full energy High Templar in one group? I just feel the life of me. I don't know why every top Protoss player does this. It's not that hard to split them up and keep them on a different control group. But it's like everyone's forgotten that you don't need to F2 every game. Oh, Cure annihilates him. Cure was happy to hold his ground and dance there. You don't think he was expecting that EMP that early, but the moment he got the EMPs and there was no storm left, of course he just stims forward, EMPs the Archons and blasts him. One-sided mauling here for Cure against Classic. Actually insane. That's so crazy, man. There's just no need to dance all your High Templar like that. I think part of the philosophy is, hey, I'm gonna bait you into coming forward with your ghosts, and I'm gonna barely dodge the EMP. I don't know if you guys have seen the speed of High Templar. It's like trying to dodge a shotgun while you're in a wheelchair. Even if you weren't in the wheelchair, dodging a shotgun's not possible. In a wheelchair, it's even harder. It just makes, like what? It's ridiculous. Bio coming forward, Vikings there as well. It is turning into a little bit of a base trade. But as long as Cure stays up his ramp, he's fine. He comes down the ramp like a crazy person. Not what I was expecting. That was a bit wild. I don't think it matters though. He's going to clear all this infrastructure out. There is like 19 gateways in this game. Wait, can Classic rebuild? Dude, Classic, where is High Templar? He's rebuilt 7 High Templar. He's making Mass Stalker on the other side of the map. It's taking so long to kill this base. And he's still got mining bases everywhere. Dude, you need to supply block him right now. If you can't supply block him, like, yeah, depowering the gateways is also helpful. But dude, Classic's actually building a massive army. But now the gateways are depowered, and that's where Classic's infrastructure actually takes the hit. Stalker's going down. I like you were kind of looking for this. Oh, EMPs could be big there, but feedbacks again! Great feedbacks for Classic. Classic, I thought was completely dead in the game. I still think he's pretty dead, just not completely dead. He's trying to build gateways on the other side. He didn't rebuild like a Hidden Templar Archives or Cybercore or anything, so he's gonna have to rebuild that stuff from scratch. This is one of the things you guys should always remember. If you're a Protoss player, always hide a Templar Archives on a distant base or like an important tech structure in a base trade. Protoss players seem to never think of this. A lot of Zergs are really quick to rebuild their key tech. Terran sometimes as well, but Protoss players, for whatever reason, I think we're just not in base trades as often when we play Protoss. We tend to forget. Like, I never remembered to do it, and I don't even know why. It's such an obvious thing. Make it so you can rebuild those High Templar. 11 High Templar have gone down this game. It's going to be a pretty big army supply advantage, but Classic has got the power of memes. He's frozen on 69 army supply. Now getting dropped below 69 workers. Command Center is going to scout his base. He's just making zealots right now. Somehow he's still not supply blocked. There we go. That Nexus going down does supply block Classic. Classic's going to clear most of these buildings. This Command Center will hide in the dead space there. This Command Center is going to hide in the bottom right. Q is happy to go full base trade here, but there's Nexi rebuilding everywhere. Classic has split his army up. Q, if he splits these units off, could kill a lot of probes, but he also could lose them. Just got to be careful. Q does not know about the base on the left. He does know about these bases in the bottom right. He finds the one in the middle as well. Classic's warping in more zealots. Dude, imagine if he had like 15 High Templar. I guess he doesn't have the gas, but if he warped in a few more High Templar, High Templar are way too clumped. Again! Again! I mean, he lands some really good feedbacks and a great storm, but he once again goes in with every High Templar clumped up. I know I'm hypercritical, guys. I know some of you don't like it. Classic's the best Protoss. Shut up, pig. Shut up, shut up. Guys, here's best Protoss last patch. Number 1, keep coping, Classic fans. Number 2, he was the best Protoss because he didn't clump his High Templar like Hero. I don't know why he's microing his High Templar like Hero this season. Last season, he didn't do this. Like, I swear, he was like one of the best guys at just splitting his High Templar up and being chill. But today, he just keeps clumping his High Templar. Hopefully, it's just a game 1. He's a bit rusty.Maybe he's just woken up before the tournament or something, but we'll see how we go, man. This is the Kung Fu Cup monthly number 3, by the way, guys. It's played about 2 weeks ago from when I was casting. I've had this on my list to cast for a few weeks. Finally got to it. Told me it was a really good series. Oh, man. Now he desperately needs to rebuild High Templar. You know what he should have built? A Stargate. If Classic got a Void Ray out and started killing the buildings, he might be able to win. Just by eliminating the buildings, right? Because there's not that many, and you got so much money, you can just keep hiding everywhere. You're mining 1,000 minerals a minute. You can just keep building Nexi and running probes around and stuff. Which is kind of cool, man. This is like fighting against AI now, chasing their damn probes around the map, killing buildings until they run out of money. Oh, they GG pretty quickly, don't they? Once you actually kill them. But I guess if you let them get too many bases, yeah, they do run around and try to rebuild sometimes. Yeah, I feel like they're usually pretty good at GGing. Uh-oh. Can you get a ghost? Remember, these are 125 hit point ghosts, guys. Killing these with stalkers is very tough. And that's some important infrastructure, not to mention the probes. Oh, there's a lot more infrastructure here. The probes are going to lure him into that. The Stalker Zealot comes in, catches a Viking, a few Vikings and ghosts. All these Stalkers doing really well. Remember, there's only 5 medevacs. They don't have a lot of juice. Every stim is sacred. Much like Catholic people feeling about their boys in the downstairs, I think Cure right now needs to have a sacred respect for his medevacs and the energy. He's got to stop using these stims now or he's going to stim himself down. There is Zealot Stalker building right now. Oh, good EMP. Ouchies. Stalker goes down. Stalker's going to blink forward. Does he get a ghost? He does. Cost him a few Stalkers on his Zealot, though. Oh, and these probes and all this infrastructure didn't cause a problem. He should recall to a different base. He should recall to the right side. He doesn't even have a Nexus there. Oh, he's going to recall to the left? What? Oh, because he's so damaged, he goes for the surround, but there's another healthier army further back. Oh, classic. He goes for the crazy recall surround, pulls the probes into the fight. He's going to run. No. Run. He's still got 23 probes, 22 probes over here. Can he do so? I mean, losing these gateways means he loses his production. He could repower that bad boy, though. Yeah, if he went Stargate, maybe. I mean, obviously the Vikings could have gone and killed the Stargate units, but he saw that army and he was like, wait, that army's not that big. He didn't realize it was only like 1/3 of the army that he was looking at. Oh. Making sure Terran's not mining. Very good move. Does catch the command center. Only 3 Stalkers left at this point, guys, and that is just a mauling. Absolute mauling. Don't get me wrong, guys. Especially the later you go in the game, the weaker the new Storm is. Lower damage output and less cast range are very impactful. I actually love that Classic was using feedback so well this game. I think if Classic spread his High Templar out and used feedback as well as he did, game changer. Oh, brutal, mate. Catches the probes in the middle of their rally. No money to rebuild. Another Nexus. And Cure. He's on the hunt for that final one. I almost want to fast forward from here, but I won't just because we never fast forward in these casts because I think this one's done. I don't see any path to recovery here for Classic outside of Cure's keyboard coming unplugged. Yeah, I mean, it still would have been really hard to win with the Stargate, guys, because he'd have to kill the factory, the command center, and the other command center before getting the Void Ray killed. You know, it's going to be really tough, but I think it forces Cure to be a bit more defensive, which maybe gives you more room to actually macro up one of these hidden Nexuses and actually make some more army. Like I said, I do think rebuilding a Templar Archives earlier would have been really good, using that gas to make a few High Templar. But he also just needed to spread his High Templar out. Good EMPs for Cure. Good solid play. He takes game 1. All right, guys. I was feeling a little low energy, so I've had a banana. Much like Max Packs at 4 a.m. when he's playing the weekly carp. We interviewed him a couple years ago and said, dude, it's 5 a.m. You just won a tournament. How do you stay focused so late at night? What do you have a snack to perk you up? Like, what do you do? And he was like, no. I had dinner many hours ago. And then there was that like 8-second Max Packs pause while he's thinking, and he's like, sometimes I have a banana. And I was like, no way. It's the secret to his success. And now, whenever I'm feeling a bit low energy, we're deep into many hours of commentary, I grab myself a banana. And I think, what would Max Packs do? It's the secret, guys. All right, Classic in the bottom right, Cure in the top left. Cure did win game 1. I hope Classic cleans up that storm control. I was really impressed with how Classic got to Colossus so quickly off of the back of what was a pretty late third. But then he got to 4 base, got tons of Storm into Colossus. And really that first moment when his army got caught in the middle of the map and all his High Templar were clumped and he got EMP'd, it was a map control mistake. He didn't see the army move out. That was a huge error for him. And it was like, if he joined that army together, the High Templar and the Colossus, I don't know if Pure could have done anything against the first 4 Colossus joined, or even the first 2 Colossus joined up with the 6 High Templar, the Stalkers, the Zealots. I think Classic probably would have been ahead in the later stages. As long as he keeps the High Templar scattered a little bit, brings them in one at a time, I think he'd have a very good chance of winning that game. Because Q was way behind in the Viking count, but lost the first army and then 2 more times, ended up getting those High Templar a bit too clumped, a bit too close to the EMP, and blasted down. Adept does come in. Now we do see the SCV here looking for where that probe is. Oh, and I see why. It's because he's going to proxy a starport, actually. He's not even going to go for the probe. He's just trying to see, hey, is there a probe nearby? No. Okay, looks like we should be able to safely move over here and proxy a starport. Unfortunately for him, the probe is nearby, but I think they barely miss each other. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. Oh, this is bad for Classic because he kind of gets the illusion of having scouted that area without actually having scouted it. Adept's going across the map. There's a shield battery in the main. There's entry behind it here for Classic as he sends the Adept forwards to try and get some scouting. Seeing the factories on a reactor, it's absolutely vital because it's going to be a 4 Hellion drop. And that is something you want, a shield battery in both bases, and you want as many gateway units as possible all in your main base ready to shoot down those units. Max Pax appears in the chat and says live game or replay. Speak his name and he should be summoned. I don't think that's the actual Max Pax account though, is it, guys? Adept there. I think that's just a fan. Oh, good damage with the Adept. Doesn't kill anything, but good damage. Going to force the Hellions to repair. So he's got to get this guy up there, repair it up. Got to join up with these 2 Hellions, get across the map. Now, obviously for Classic, he needs to keep building Stalkers right now. Oh, dude, he needs another Stalker right now. I would chrono it as well. Oh, he's just going to warp in, is he? Surprised he didn't chrono the warp gate. So he's going to full wall the front, it looks like. But he needs everything in the main to defend this. He's going to go for 2 more gateways and a robo. And then he should build himself something else in the wall off as well. So he's got the gateway ready, but only 3 gateway units is not enough. I feel like Classic's response is not correct here. I think Q is going to do some really big damage. The force field could really help though. Force field could actually be massive. Only buys him a second. I was going to say, it's an interesting choice to not pull the probes. It might be the right choice, because then they don't stack up. You see, when you pull them, they stack. Hellions do take out 8 workers. That last force field is actually really cute, but dude, he still hasn't killed a single Hellion. And he clumps his probes like crazy. Very subpar defense here for Classic, as Cure runs away with this game. 21 workers and this series. I mean, this is a disaster for Classic now. It's just bad defense, guys. I really feel like full wall off is the way to go. It's a good map for Q to do this on because you can't wall off with 3 structures. Even if this gateway was placed there, that gateway there. Actually, I think you could. If the first gateway was further north, I think you can wall off with 3 structures. But even if you don't, you have the wall off available. You should not leave a Stalker in the wall. You should leave a probe there and just build a shield battery or a pylon or whatever to wall off. You need all 3 units in the main. And you want to try and focus the Hellions as quickly as possible. But I think he was a bit slow getting to this 3rd gateway unit. I think he easily could have had 4 gateway units out in time. And it all comes back to little details in your production, right? So remember, he already lost the Adept. That's why he's down a gateway unit. But goes for this Stalker. I actually think the next Stalker is far more important to start rather than the gateway. Why? Because if you start it straight away and chrono it, it's going to take, how long does a Stalker take to build? I think 27 seconds. This will take 25 seconds. I mean, you don't even need to chrono it. It's only going to overlap by 2 seconds with the warp gate. So it'll pop, and then you transform, warp in another Stalker. It just gets you that 1 extra Stalker. And then you're going to, yes, your extra production is delayed, but this extra production never kicks in time for the drop anyway, or it kicks in during the drop. It's more important to get that extra unit out right now. And you can see he even canceled it again because he's like, oh, I'll just wait for warp gate now. It's too late. I think if you've got 3 Stalkers and a Sentry, you kill this a lot quicker. I also think he shouldn't have moved his probes at all. I think he could have been a bit further forward with his units on the edge, Stalk here, sentry here, sees where the drop's coming, starts doing damage earlier. Though arguably you want to keep the sentry further back, so it's actually defending the workers. I think keep the workers there and focus the Hellions rather than the medevac. Because once you get it down to 2 Hellions, now they can't one-shot probes. So it's always a race to get him down to 2 Hellions as quickly as possible. And obviously, the medevac can shuffle them, pick them up and drop them sometimes, so sometimes you do need to target the medevac, but this just felt a little sloppy for Classic. I think this is something we've noticed recently, is that Clem used to do this build all the time, and he stopped doing it because MaxPax and the European Protoss players got really on point at defending it. But we've noticed that against Korean players, the Korean Protoss players are often, I think, not respecting how powerful the 4 Hellion drop is, which is why we saw Clem actually try this the other day against Hero and also find very big damage. Either way, great game for Cure. Easy 2-0 lead. Alright guys, well, I had this one recommended. I didn't check the results because I didn't want to be spoiled. I try to do that wherever possible. But if this continues the way it is, this is not the best series ever. Like, don't get me wrong, Classic had some moments. The game 1 was kind of funny with, like, Cure playing Whack-A-Mole. But I feel like this has been Classic waking up on the wrong side of the bed. And this is his last chance. He's got to snap out of it, wake up, and start playing that clean, classic StarCraft that we know he's capable of. Otherwise, I was told to cast a series that maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I was maybe people got this series confused. I had a few people tell me this series was a banger. I'm hoping we have 3 games in a row. Classic reversals, all barn burners, all base trades, proxy bases, corner bases, insane strategy, Tempests fighting Lib Viking Ghost, battle cruisers. Right now I'm basically just trying to manifest, if you're wondering why I'm just shouting at the screen. I want these things to happen. I cannot promise them. Doesn't recommended imply the next 3 games are going to be sick. Yeah. The thing is, sometimes someone just dumpsters 3-0. And then I go, why'd you guys recommend this? They're like, oh, I love Cure. It just happens that like 2 or 3 people who are big Cure fans are like, did you see how good this series was? And I'm like, you mean where Classic made some mistakes and Cure just like chopped his head off really quickly? And they're like, yeah, it was great, wasn't it? And I'll be like, what? I trusted you guys. But no, it's fine. It's good. I actually like to mix in. Obviously, not every series can be a reversal barn burner. It's good to have some brutal victories mixed in there, right? Otherwise, you guys tune, oh, it's a pig cast. It's always going to be a close match because he never casts any one-sided ones. And that in itself removes part of the fun of not knowing what's going to happen next, right? So, yeah. I'll always prioritize those barn burners where possible, but yeah. Got to mix it up, eh? All right. So this is a Cybercore before Nexus plus Probe Scout. Very conservative opening for Classic. Would be nice to see Classic do a Nexus before Core. Cut some corners once in a while, you know. Mix in one of those super greedy builds. Command Center starting about 216. Stargate. Ooh, I do love a Stargate opening, guys. Yeah, even if it's a 3-0, if they're all barn burners, it is still 100% a barn burner match. I agree. It's not always the score. I don't know. I'll often point out, sometimes you watch a real banger of a series that's a 2-0 or a 3-0. Yeah, scoreline doesn't mean everything, right? Not in terms of raw entertainment value, anyway. Cure going for Reacted Marines, Tech Lab Factory. Looks like he wants to swap over here, just with the placement. But he's going to squeeze a Cyclone out first. It's going to be good against Phoenix. I'm guessing Phoenix. Ah, it is Phoenix. Okay. I actually thought I was wrong. I thought I'd guessed wrong there. He's obviously more of a Phoenix player Classic than Oracle. Oracle's a bit riskier, a bit more dynamic. Phoenix a bit more reliable and predictable. And if your opponent goes Marine Cyclone drop, Phoenix will slap that down. Now, I always love with my Stargate builds to get a very quick second gateway. But when you go Cybercore before Nexus and you build a shield battery, he can't even afford probes right now. He's literally cutting probes at 33 to build 3 gateways. So, because Classic knows he's played against a double gas build, he's worried about like a Cyclone tank push, Marine push, Lib push, all this sort of stuff. So he literally is actually skipped probes and already done such a conservative build. But still ahead 6 workers. It's not a bad economic position to be in. Just both sides are teching up and getting their production going very quickly. Reaper's a distraction. He's going to try to run up that right side. 2 Adepts are waiting for him. Cyclone Marine Drop runs in. Phoenix say hello. Ooh, he immediately breaks the lock on. Nicely done. He's going to try and get a few more shots off. Gotta be careful though. Phoenix is going to commit. Oh, is he going to? Yeah, he's going to commit. Reaper goes in the main. Probes are going to try and fight him, but Cure does have multitasking. Okay, Phoenix do take out the medevac, and they will pick up the Cyclone while the Adepts clean up the Marines. Nice play here for Classic. The Adepts should move past to make sure he can't escape. Does pick up the Cyclone, takes care of him. Reaper's going to try and at least make him pay for this. Does get himself 1 probe. Can he get a second one? Goes for it, but does not get it. Nice micro. Classic. All right. Derpy first 2 games. Beautiful game 3. 1 Phoenix, 1 probe for that. Ooh, he's very excited. Immediate third base. Blink on the way afterwards. I love the way Classic plays Phoenix. Most players, so if I see this, I see what I've seen, I'm thinking charge. Yeah, you got a Twilight, got a few gateways, you're probably going to go charge, because I didn't see gases on your natural. Phoenix charge. Phoenix into Blink is not an opening. It's not a build. It's not a thing. And that's why it's good. Because it's so hard to predict. So this is actually, and he's completely swapped off Phoenix. So you're building Vikings and Cyclones to defend 4, 5, 6 Phoenix harassing your worker lines. You're probably going to build a missile turret in each worker line as well. Classic's already pivoted into the next tech. I love this. You guys know how some players will build a Colossus and then they won't build range or anything for it and they just go into like Immortals, Disruptors, Storm, whatever else, and they just don't even play that style, where they try to bait Vikings out of the opponent by showing them an early Colossus, but they don't commit to it. And it's like, hey, if the Protoss hides that Colossus count not growing, suddenly the Terran builds 8 Vikings and they have almost no use. So I kind of love it. And we've got some really cool people in the chat, guys, saying 6-7, 6-7 AO, 6-7, haha, any 6-7 in the chat. Good to know. We have some people with very high IQs in the chat, guys. For those who don't know, 6-7 is actually the number heavily correlated with the IQ of most people who say 6-7 a lot. It's also the average age of the people who say that is either 6 or 7. Boomers stick with the 69 and the 420. What can I say? I am become meme, guys. Sorry, that clip of Elon, just every time I think about it, it brings so much joy to my face. It just makes me so happy. There's just you know when you're watching an episode of I don't know, like a sitcom or something, and just some comedy, it's just so it's making you cringe out of your skin with secondhand embarrassment. It's so uncomfortable, the situation they do. But then you see something more uncomfortable than you could have ever imagined in real life, and you're like, this is truly impressive, dude. Truly impressive. Excuse you, I'm 8, sir. Alright, guys, we've got 8 gateways. Charge +1. Oh, yeah, is he going... Wait, oh, he's going Zealot Storm now off of the Blink Stalkers. Okay, cool. If he can fight pre-Ghost, this would be really good. Problem is there's no Prism right now. If Classic can wait for the Prism and then do a Storm Drop, that'd be great. Oh, he sees everything. He sees everything. Classic didn't spot the Observer. Uh-oh. The Phoenix are going to go forward, see where the army's coming from. He's trying to set up an ambush, but I think he just showed the High Templar. He's going for it. Here we go. Oh, Stalkers blink forward. Good first Storm. Gets the Cyclone, the Widow Mine, and the Siege Tank in it. The Medivacs took big damage too. Great zoning Storms. Now, I'd love to see the Zealots loop around for a counterattack while the Observer continues to track the army. Would be excellent. Yeah, that'll do. Prism Zealot drop's also good. Ghost Academy comes in. Second Forge is there. Classic's going to go for that Robo Bay and second Robo. Oh, I love it. I love it. But he's lost track of the army again. Dude, this is the same problem that he had in game 1. He's not tracking the enemy army at all. Okay, he splits a unit to the left, which is good, but he doesn't see the army. Classic with some really subpar map control today, guys. He lets the army slide past him. He does a good little prism harass, and he recalls. This time the Vikings will not be able to kill that, but look at that. His 4th base just got cancelled. The prism did survive. I'll show you guys later. Phoenix does take a kamikaze shot into the Marine Mortar. Nice. But the Storms aren't really able to close the distance. Does he have the numbers to push through? Storms on the Medivacs are actually killing them, funnily enough. Medivacs are actually going down just to Storms here. Kua needs to get out to the top right. He needs to run away right now. Just save any units you can and get out of there. That was a really good fight for Kua. Classic with some very bad map control today. I'm being highly critical because I am a Classic fan, guys. He plays a solid defensive focused style. If you just completely lose track of your opponent's army for a full minute in the mid game when that's your main job with a zoning Storm army, that has to get called out. This is not what Classic normally does. I don't know why he's so unfocused today on tracking the enemy army, but he just gave Cure a fight that he never should have been able to take. This should have been a really big lead, I think, for Classic. Now he's got to rebuild his fourth. He's still got a good Colossus timing. He's got 2-1. It's not like he's in a bad spot. He's down in supply when he should be up. He should be way ahead right now. And instead, he's in a competitive game. Oh, not again. Okay, goes forward with all his High Templar and a clump again. Very lazy, but you know what? There's not many ghosts. He might get away with it. Okay, there we go. He does spread them, but he doesn't have any Stalkers or anything here. Zealots do go forward. Doesn't quite finish off that ghost, unfortunately. He's going to try to run away. Prism does go in the main base again. Oh, I like the Prism in the main again. That's really cute. Especially if the Prism can escape before the Vikings get there. Actually, where are those Vikings, guys? They're hanging at the front. He hasn't sent them back just yet. A little bit panicked is Cure, trying to stabilize and deal with the defense. He also hasn't started his 2-2 yet. Going to try and build 3 more barracks. He sees the Prisms in the back. Finally, the Vikings go to deal with that. But this has given Classic time to go double Robo Colossus. And even though he's down a little in the units lost tab, it's not too bad. A lot more gateways are going down. 7th and 8th gases. That Prism should now fall. No time to recall it this time. Even if it was off cooldown, which it's about to be in 1 second. 3, 2, 1. There we go. That's how 1 second works, by the way, guys. 3, 2, 1. I count good. It's one observer's been seeing so much this game still set up on the front. Not even in surveillance mode. Classic's really good at not using the F2 button, by the way. Guys like Hero have become very dependent on it, but Classic, as an old school gamer, is still used to the old way of playing. Barely uses the F2. When he does, it's just to find where his units are, add them to control groups, that sort of thing. It's an organizational tool for him rather than a crutch. Now, Classic's taking a lot of bases, guys. He's going for the corners. He's building 6 more gateways. He's got also the Prism rebuilding as well as Prism speed. So he's got a good Storm Colossus army. I think this is a good timing. Like I said, if he can just spread his High Templar out a bit better. 4 Colossus, there's only 4 Vikings. But the problem is he doesn't have a Warp Prism on the front. It's just come out. I'm not sure where it is right now. Oh no, it's still building. So he's still building the Prism, and he's not max, so he can't force a fight. Otherwise, right now, this is the timing I was saying would be really scary for Cure in the earlier game. Game 1. When's the last time you saw a Void Ray on a cast? Earlier today, Classic built one against Raynor. Just a Void Ray to hunt down Overlords and stuff. It was on the Celestial Enclave game. Void Rays will always be the king of low-level 4v4s and kind of absent for the most part in pro play. Hey, thanks there, Vidrix. How you doing, dude? Hope you're having a good day. Thanks for the kind message there, guys. 2-2's almost done for Terran. 3-2's almost done for Protoss. This might be an anti-timing. If we attack at 2-1 into 2-2, we'll see. Prism goes forward. Great opening storm. Cure's army, half of it's on the south. This is only a small part of his army. He's got to pull back. This allows Classic to take position. Classic needs to spread these High Templar. The Ghost got killed before it could get towards the High Templar. The Ghosts are going down to the Colossus before they can get in range of the High Templar. The High Templar are once again very clumped, though. He needs to pull them back and use those zoning storms. 11 SCVs do go down. Units lost tab on both sides. Pretty brutal fight, but it actually was like a lot of the units got finished off there on the Protoss side. He missed that time. I was talking about the window where he could push. That was a minute or two ago. Now, you can see Cure had plenty of Vikings. Yes, half of his army was out of position, so it kind of worked, but I think Cure did a good job of holding on. He's got more Ghosts coming out, and now he's forcing it to that late game. Got 3-3 started as well. 2 more Colossus are building here, so back to 4 Colossus. Those will get rid of Ghosts very quickly. Now, if the Terran's full turtling, I still do believe best way to take it, start building Cannon Battery out here. Go Tempest, spread High Templar everywhere. I still think it's a good style. I know it's heavily nerfed. We've only seen Hero try that once. No other Protoss on this patch. Hero did it very poorly. High Templar very clumped. Cops a double EMP. Another EMP lands. He's got more High Templar coming from a spread, though. Oh, the Vikings do shoot down the prison, but dude, that was a massive storm. Problem is, even though Classic gets the command center snipe, he's got nothing left behind it. All of his High Templar did get EMP'd. He did land a 6 storm. One of them died inside the prism. Is it worth it to kill that 5th command center? He's actually got a 5th command center here. That was a 6th command center. I think it was a kill as well, not a cancel, right? I don't know if that was worth it. He's going to lift an orbital, try and float it over. That is Cure. Cure's going to find a Colossus in the mid-map. You'd think Classic would have pulled back defensive, but with 16 gateways of production, he feels like he's the daddy. He thinks he can outproduce Cure right now. He's going to play Rabbit Protoss. Rabbit Protoss, guys, it's all about breeding like rabbits, man. It's about just reproducing faster than your opponent can clear up the infestation. Oh, the Colossus is going to go down to the Vikings. Stalker's trying to fall back. Q is just running over him. I'm shocked that Classic stayed that deep on the map after getting his army mauled on that side. I really thought he'd be hiding at his base and trying to recover. But yeah, he's got to rebuild his High Templar now. And obviously you can see that Storm, and there's lots of medevacs up. And now they've got Caduceus Reactor. Storm really falls off in this late game. Ghosts, 125 hit points. You need Colossus to deal with them. But Colossus are very weak to Vikings, as we've always known. But Vikings are now 25 minerals cheaper. This is essentially why the late game has shifted pretty hard in Terran favor in this matchup, even when the early and mid game is still looking very decent to very good for Protoss, depending on which stage of the game it is and which players are playing. But yeah, it's definitely shifted in that way. Energy recharge getting nerfed as well, of course. Remember, range libs do siege up a lot faster, even though they don't get full vision of their circle anymore. So if you get 10 libs up, they are so quick to siege on siege. I've been playing a lot of mass lib on the ladder. Having a lot of fun with bio libs. Skipping the ghosts to make it a bit more noob friendly for myself. Bio ghost. Ooh. Okay, this is a lot of High Templar, not much support though. High Templar very clumped. Two High Templar and a Sentry get EMP. Good Storm. Good second Storm. Extra Storm's pretty good as well, but he does cop an EMP, and he's already used up all of his Storms to damage an army, but not kill much. Zealot count is really good, but he needs to energy recharge these High Templar and keep making more. I think that's the thing we're seeing here, is you need more High Templar against a Terran who's this good with his EMP. 5 SCVs do go down. Zealot's in the third in the Natty. He's going to try and push forward as well as Classic. His main army is very small, though. He's got 27 Zealots right now. I wouldn't mind 2 Immortals in the mix just to help snipe command centers. Dark Shrine could be very effective as well. Being able to blink in here with 10, 12 Dark Templar and snipe planetaries. One of the best ways to remove planetaries extremely quickly, though you do need a lot of gas to do it. Classic's done an excellent job of transferring his workers. You can really see Classic just tries to make sure everything's clean. Guys like Hero, often you'll see many bases oversaturated at this point. Classic's really methodical in how he plays through the mid game and late game. Q is still up 7,000 and the resources lost. I hate this High Templar micro technique, guys. I really hate it. It's so risky. He doesn't leave any of them off control group in reserve. It's really sloppy. This is so silly. It's just so risky, man. Good feedbacks, like that's good, but he should always have at least 2 or 3 High Templar behind the army. So if he does cop the big EMP, he can cover his retreat with Storms. The moment you can't cover your retreat is the moment everything goes terribly wrong. He's going to make some Archons, hoping there's not enough EMPs to just clear those. There's a lot of gas going to those Archons. It could have been saved for Dark Templar. He's going to try and take the middle base. This middle base is very hard to defend as Classic. Classic's on 92 workers, so he's got money for days. I like the Sensor Tower snipe. That's cute. Oh, great Storm! Massive Storms! Q, what are you doing? Q just ate gigantic Storms on both sides. Excellent play by Classic. I love the way Classic's bullying. Like I said, the one change is just 2 or 3 High Templar off control group behind the army. So he's not so exposed to just a double EMP catching him off guard, because I feel like he's one good medevac drop of a ghost behind him or a cloaked ghost flanking from behind, and this whole game could fall apart so quickly. But Q is not really doing that. Q is just trying to wait for him to overextend and waiting for the mistake to present itself, but Classic's been a lot better than game 1. in terms of like pulling these High Templar forward one at a time. The pack's very clumped now. Okay, good storm on that right side to zone. Good storms. Great storms covering his retreat, and he's not exposing his High Templar. Doesn't need another one here. Dude, great storms all over this army. Kua chasing into this. Kind of headbutting right now. One more storm goes down. Remember, Classic has like 16, 18 gateways. Kua chases way too far. That looked a little sloppy for Kua, guys. And yet, despite that, he cleans up the army. I will not balance one. I will not balance one. That's actually like crazy. I thought his army was going to bleed out there. The medevac healing was pretty good, dude. He did get a good arc. Classic's reinforced is big enough. He might still be able to win this game because he's been mining so much more. I just don't think Kua needed to chase the army the way he did there. But despite, I feel like chasing into Classic Storms really kind of derpily. Like, I don't think it was a great fight for Kua. It still worked out good enough. No, it didn't. Problem, he's only got 3 ghosts. Ghosts are crazy expensive. He actually lost too many ghosts. He's lost 22 ghosts now to 16 High Templar. Yes, 11 Archons, 11 Colossus have gone down. But look at, yes, he's got gas there. But like just in general, ghosts are really expensive and they are spellcasters. The High Templar count, look how high it's back up high. And he's been energy recharging them consistently. This is really good for Classic. Because yes, he's a bit too far ahead on economy to the point where his army's kind of too small in my opinion. But he's actually keeping Kua's bank really low. If he denies any one of these bases of Kua, Classic can break him with the bank. I would love to see 5 more gateways as well, but I think we want to see heavy Zealot reinforcers in the next few fights. Don't get me wrong, guys. From the Terran side, I do think mid-game spirals in Protoss' control a bit too much as well. And that has really big impacts at like my level on ladder as well. Oh, watch out for this. EMP across the corner could have been really nice there, but Libs are now sieging up. These are Libs with range and +3. Classic historically has been really bad against heavy Lib. It's something I criticized him for heavily after seeing Maru beat him with it a few times. But we're not at heavy Lib yet. It's been just pure Bio Viking Ghost. Now the Libs are coming out, but there's only a handful. Classic's already between him and his expansion, but Classic's army control a little lackluster there. Loses a few extra units, does lift one command center though, makes the other one take big damage as well. High Templar Zealot coming in, he energy recharges as he gets EMP'd. Unfortunate timing there for Classic, hoping that both of them weren't looking. Libs are coming forward, Stalkers need to blink forward. Great storms here, but he goes a bit too far forward with his High Templar. The Stalkers will clear the Libs, the Colossus could clear those Ghosts, and they do. Dude, that was actually a decent start to the fight for Classic, but then the rest of the Marine Marauder comes in, and Kua does take down all but one Colossus. His Liberator faces backwards. Don't know what the heck that pilot was thinking. Double Drop's going to go in the main, but that's where the Mass Gateway really excels, is in that main base, in amongst the production, where you can just warp in right on top of those units, and the Zealot Stalker will, of course, have a field day. I can't believe this Reddit Point Colossus survived, guys. That was kind of ridiculous. The drop in the main gets cleaned up. That's what Classic needs. Classic's got 7,000 minerals. Classic can make Zealots for days. Kua needs to slow the pace of this game down, but losing control of this base, losing all those workers, that was a disaster. Classic's going to reproduce much quicker. Rabbit Protoss love messy fights, whereas Turtle Protoss, this is the turtle and the hare, guys. The turtle does not want rapid stuff. The turtle wants to go slow and steady. Kua just tried to get up and sprint in the first 50 meters of the marathon, or the first kilometer of the marathon, I should say, to keep pace with Classic's Rabbit Protoss. That's good for the Rabbit Protoss. That's not good for the Tortoise. Loses another command center as a result. Classic now bullying him back into a corner of 1.5 bases of really actual effective mining. Kua will be able to rebuild, but this really gives Classic room. Classic's already mining out corner bases and things like this. And does need to build a Stargate. He's already got 2, actually. Should just rally a Phoenix down here. Make sure that has to get out of the corner. Trying to rebuild this Nexus. I love that he's mining out this middle one. If he could take this base here as well, that would be excellent for Classic. Put Kua even more on a timer. I really wonder what this patch would look like if Storm wasn't changed, guys. I feel like we should just revert that Storm change. I think even with that, I think it's still very tough for Protoss with the Ghost Viking changes. Oh! Okay, medevac does go down. Because I think energy recharge has been reined in pretty well, you know? I mean, I was never an advocate for the storm change, but it is what it is. We had a bunch of experimental changes this last patch, didn't we? Manson is there. Oh, that's enough Stalkers. Go for it. Go for it. Oh, he's going to get it. +3 Stalkers do so much damage, man. That orbital goes down. Oh, okay. Can he get this one as well? Zealot Stalker trying to run away. Can't get that one, but at least he's distracting. Remember, there's not that many minerals left, guys. A few minerals there. Barely any minerals there, and it's this base over here. It's everything. He's trying to build more commands, and there's more medevacs right now. His Cure. He's got to take some clean engagements. Now, there are 2 Tempests building. I like the idea of Classic building just 2 Tempests. Whenever the libs siege like this, guys, you want to land a Storm and pull away. If you get a Storm on them as they siege up, they take so much damage. It's 110 damage if you sit in an entirety of a Storm. Zealot Stalker dancing around. Come on, try to. You want to catch the libs when they siege. So yeah, you want it. Storm. Classic. You're High Templar. Watch out. Okay. Does pull away. At least he doesn't get shot by the libs. And he's gonna come forward with like 3 Tempests and just start chipping at him, I think. Which is not a bad move. There is a lib in the bottom left as well. Oh, Stalkers can't reach that. Funnily enough, guys, if he doesn't scan, remember you can't see here, so you can't actually shoot these probes except when you scan. That's the new range lib harass. It's quite funny. Oh, here we go. Colossus Stalker, Zealot High Templar coming around this side. Tempest's going to very slowly clear up that Liberator. He's going to scan again. Classic, of course, sending these probes to a different base here in the middle to mine. Kira desperately needs this expansion. He is max, though, and he's got a pretty scary army. There's only 3 High Templar. The trick to deal with libs is to have your libs... catch the libs sieging. Catch them on the move. The new Storm not as good at this as the old one because it doesn't do as much damage per second on those stacked air units, but still effective because it's AoE splash anti-air damage. There's only 7 ghosts in this army. That's not ideal for Cure. You should have more than that. Ghosts outside of the Colossus are a very tanky front line. Storm doesn't quite land. Remember, you have 1 less cast range on the High Templar, so it's harder to do this than ever before as well. Oh, big mistake with the libs. The Stalkers blink forward and punish that misclick for Cure, taking out 2 or 3 Liberators there. He's got Tempest now as well. Storms are landing. Okay, no more Storms here in reserve right now. It does just morph an Archon. He's got a Sentry in the army. Man's still thinking about Guardian Shield this late in the game. That is impressive. Bottom left base is going to get taken out. Tempests are here. It's a big man-mode army. Stalkers, Zealots, Colossus, Tempests. Big scary army, but he's going to give up his bottom left. He's going to rotate. That's the correct call. And you want to try and storm him as he comes down this ramp while you focus these command centers. But Classic says, no, I don't want to give up these bases. Problem. Now Cure can dive in this base and kill these 2 bases. He's got to go right now, though. Cure not seizing the opportunity. I am shocked. Cure just saw the recall. He knew there was a recall. Maybe didn't realize how much of the army that was. He's stuck in a defensive mindset right now, is Cure. Wants to pull back and just defend. I thought he'd punish by killing those 2 bases. This planetary will go down eventually, but the lib's doing really good damage on these Stalkers. And yeah, he does do a nice zoning storm. But look at that. Q is just going to go for it, and Q is going to chase right through the storms yet again. And he does eat some pretty big storms. Massive 14 Zealot warping on the right flank. The Colossus, Stalkers, Tempest doing so much damage. Tempests are rallying into Vikings right now. Those libs are going to do pretty good damage. He's going to take out a bunch of them with the Stalkers, though. The Colossus, Stalkers, Zealots getting through here. Q just chased way too far. Way too far there. Through the Psystorms. Classic does end up winning in the end. Wow. This felt like, though, if I look at this and I think about this in terms of last time I saw Classic in late game against Maru, he looked like he didn't know how to deal with range libs and stuff and how to play late game. Would this have worked against Maru? I'm not sure. I think he played really much better with his High Templar movement this game, but this one was so weird and seesawy. I'm not sure. I really wonder, should Cure have gone range libs earlier? Should Classic have tried like a Tempest Siege earlier? It's tough on this map because if you think about it, I think you have to take this ridge if you want to do that. Because if you can get Cannon Battery Tempest up here, then you can like branch right, you can go forward, or you can go left pretty easily. But it's not as attractive on some other as on some other maps. Maybe you could do it out here. Some other maps have a better high ground. In late game, I guess here's not a bad idea. But I definitely think when you see this common mineral bank we're seeing in a lot of games, there's a moment that you guys want to look for. And if you're willing to go to late game like Classic was, probably about 11 minutes here, where I think it should really be dawning on Classic. You see multiple sensor towers. Karen hasn't left his base in over 3 minutes. He's just building command centers. This guy just wants to sit there. The more sensor towers, the more command centers you see, the more he's just sitting at home defending, the more you want to realize this guy is going for late game. I either need to get in there and start denying bases and ending it soon and building a big advantage. But if it goes later, or if I want it to go later, I should start going for that Stargate Fleet Beacon and start building the Cannon Battery Tempest Storm spread somewhere outside their base. Maybe starting from here, because once you've got that, the problem is always your supply cap. You can't have a big enough army. You also lose detection later on, which is a really big problem against ghosts. But cannons, unlike observers, don't just get scanned down. You can just have detection everywhere, really good damage output. If you've got Cannon Storm and Tempests, you can siege them down from afar. But Classic hasn't tried it. Showtime, Arsenal, Australia, I haven't seen anyone try it this season other than Hero, and he's not good at that style. So I'd love to see Classic try it out and see if he could make it work in a game like this where you get such a big mineral bank. Even if it was after this attack, maybe around 14, 15 minutes, you could see he was kind of like, I'm on 90 workers. I'm starting to build a big mineral bank a little bit later than this, and he could have maybe started to do that. Either way, great game by Classic. He gets a point on the board. All right, guys, Classic in the top right side of the map, Cure in the bottom left side of the map. It's going to be Tourmaline here. Cure still only needs one game to finish it off. Classic, on the other hand, needs to win 2 in a row. That last game's got to give him some confidence. I think he did much better with the Colossus Storm. I still think he missed that timing. I don't know if you guys agree with this or not, but I feel like there's that moment when there's 4 Colossus, you got 6 High Templar maxed on energy, and I feel like Classic should have been able to max out his army or get close to maxed a bit earlier and actually push with that. I think right now that's the timing he's missing against Kure, because Kure's been very, very slow into the Vikings on the second starport. Big, how have the observer changes impacted play? Well, Classic never uses it now because it reveals the observer and he doesn't want to give away that he's watching. Hero only uses it because he F2s like a madman and likes to try to get away with abusing the extra vision. I think at peak play, whenever the gameplay slows down a little bit, it's actually a big buff for Protoss at the top level. The reason being, you get so much extra vision when the observer siege is up. Even though it reveals itself, your opponent needs to get close to you to see that you've revealed yourself. So you can just be like, oh, you're a Terran player. You just set up the observer like here and siege it. You just see everything. And the top players can often unsiege it and get away, even if the opponent realizes that it's watching them or whatever. Like, it can just watch from so far away. Like, normally you put an observer outside the base. Instead, you just put it over here, siege it up, and it still sees the army leaving the base. And then they're none the wiser. So I actually think the observer change is probably a decent buff to the observer when used optimally, but it's a big handicap to Protoss players who are spamming F2 all day, every day. Alright, Reaper's building, factory as well. There's an extra Stalker about to come out. I like this track. This track's really good. Sorry, oh, I shouldn't talk about the tracks because I have to swap the music out usually for YouTube. Sorry, YouTube viewers. It could have been a very average track that you're hearing right now. I'm hearing the same soundtrack, but it's probably a different song. Almost certainly a different part of a different song. Stalker does come out. The Reaper comes in for a few shots. Sentry after that. 1 shield battery, 2 shield batteries. Classic says, let's play safe. Now, someone said nice minimap drawings. Oh, because of the 2 big chunkers and then the big shaft, yeah? Nice. Well spotted, Twitch chat. Good to know you guys' minds are in the gutter. Well done. Marine Cyclone Starport. It is a bit of a Rorschach test, isn't it? Like, some people look at the minimap, they're like, it's a teddy bear. Other people are like, their answer is always chode. Like, no matter what it looks like, they're like, it's a chode. You're like, damn it. Sees the shield battery. And the Twilight just now finishing up. All right, so Q has gone one Cyclone. He's still going to go for the medevac, but... Oh, he's building a tank. Oh, okay, okay. So he's going straight past the early harassment to the full Marine tank medevac. Question, does the medevac go straight away, or does he wait for the siege tank, guys? Ooh, classic. What are we going to do, mate? He's got a robo on the natural, very vulnerable. I love that he immediately builds a backup pylon here to power the robo, knowing this one will go down if there is a frontal push. So it's 3-gate robo blink. And Q is gambling everything on being able... Yeah, he waits for the tank. Look at this. Tank gets inside. Medevac boosts across. Joins this Marine Cyclone Reaper move out. He's going to try and siege up here a tank very early. Get the Marine Cyclone and start in front. Does he bring SCVs? No SCVs. Got a Viking rallying. That's a budget Marauder there, guys, is what the landed Viking is. It's actually not much more expensive than a Marauder these days as well. Only 25 mineral difference. A lot more gas. Cyclone with the early lock on. Very nice here. Oh, very nice. So much energy goes down from that shield battery already. The tank is going to get focused, but at what cost? Probes had to get pulled, but you know what? Killing that tank is pretty important here for Classic. Does take out the Reaper as well. More probes being pulled in. He wants to keep those Stalkers alive. That Reddit Point Stalker on the left surviving is massive. That's a game changer, man. That is an absolute game changer. The medevac's doing the little drippy droppy though, the hot pickup. Kua says, "Daw! My name's Clem. Look at me. I'm a Terran player. Look at me. My name's Clem." Oh, that was pretty sick pickups right there, wasn't it, guys? Now, one thing I'm wondering, guys, is why did he energy recharge so early? Was that just for Guardian Shield, was it? Ah, he energy recharged the Sentry for Guardian Shield, and then it immediately got blasted by the tank. Good focus fire by Kua to kill that Sentry. Good focus fire, because it turns out energy recharge on the battery would have been worth a fair bit more. Damn, dude. I mean, they are teammates, guys. Liquid Kua, Liquid Clem. And some nice micro to finish her off. This is the funny thing about playing as safe as Classic. This is what Kua is trying to take advantage of. Classic, when he sees a double gas, he almost always goes 2 shield batteries into 3-gate robo, but it doesn't come up that early. He's still probing, he's rushing 4 gases, and he didn't seem to realize what was going on. Now you might be wondering, why didn't he realize? Didn't he make a sentry? I just want to go back because I didn't highlight it very well during the game. And that is here. Oh, I think it just died. So he comes forward with his Phoenix. And this is the intercept I didn't catch. And that's why you open with this. And so now Classic's like, I don't know what's happening. It could be a super aggressive attack. I could build some more shield batteries and stuff. But yeah, let's take a look. Like this transforms. Does he warp in the moment that finishes transforming? Yeah, within a second or two, not bad. And the second gateway is about to finish. Does he warp in when that finishes? Okay, so it's just finished warping in. Yeah, he warps in again. First warp in should be available again. He's at the front knowing there could be a push soon. But despite that, doesn't have the numbers to stop it. And yeah, just gets hammered, man. Brilliant early push, hits right on about 420. And he lights him up. GG, well played. Kua with a convincing 3-1. I don't think there was anything particularly amazing about this series. Did it belong in the best games of StarCraft Weekly stream? Probably not. Despite that, I like seeing Kua back on point and decisively punishing people. Amazing EMPs, good base trades, good late game, good early pushes, and hell, even that last game where Classic had the whole map for a while, he almost won that game as well. Not too far for 3-0, a 3-1. Kua's got to be happy with that. GG, well played.